Kevin, so stupid. What a stupid gorilla. Guy is telling me that Kevin is in Miami with the girl.
Some downfalls happen slowly, others explode in real time. But this one feels like watching a luxury mansion collapse room by room, while the two people inside pretend they can rebuild it with dust. Kevin Hunter once strutted like a king. Shireena Hudson walked beside him like she had already won the lottery twice. Together, they built a world on borrowed money, borrowed time, and borrowed confidence.
So I'm not gonna take a lot of time because, I'm getting emotional. And I told myself I wasn't gonna do this.
But the moment Wendy Williams' life spiraled, the empire they thought was permanent began cracking from the inside. Now those cracks are earthquakes, and the mess they hid behind closed doors is finally swallowing them whole. There was a moment, not long ago, when Kevin honestly believed he could outmaneuver the entire system. Lawyers, banks, judges, Wendy's family. He treated all of them like minor obstacles on the way to a payday. But insiders say his reality has shifted into something far more desperate. Behind the public lawsuits and loud accusations, Kevin has allegedly been making back-channel calls to old business contacts, hinting he's working on a comeback project and needs temporary support. Translation, he's asking for money. Quietly, repeatedly, from anyone who ever shook his hand. Some say he's even reached out to people who swore they'd never speak to him again. And while he once lectured others about responsibility, his own debts have reportedly ballooned so quickly that even people close to him barely recognize the panic in his voice. It's not the confidence of a man planning a comeback.
Like you seen Kelvin Hunter and my ex, Wendy Williams, and the team that was behind us, and I mean the whole team. That includes my current lady now.
It's the scramble of someone watching his last safety nets disappear. Neighbors near his Florida property say he's rarely seen outside. One described him bluntly. He looks like someone who hasn't slept in weeks. Maybe because every week brings a new problem, a new notice, a new reminder that Wendy Williams is no longer funding his life. And the more he slips, the more people whisper that this is only the surface of the collapse. Because the person sinking even faster is the woman who once believed she'd never have to worry ag. For years, Shireena Hudson floated through social media like a woman living her best soft luxury life. Filtered selfies, brunch plates, cozy photos in homes she didn't technically pay for. Now, her online footprint looks like someone hit the delete button in a panic. People close to her say she's moved more than once in the past year, each time trying to start fresh. Old friends claim she changed her main phone number, then changed it again. Some messages go unanswered for months, others bounce. And when she does respond, they describe her as jittery, overwhelmed, and terrified that the next shoe is about to drop.
Most of the people would not reach out to really see if you're doing good, if she was doing good.
This isn't the same woman who once stepped out of luxury cars like she had a film crew waiting. This is someone who's slowly unraveling. According to one former friend, she's constantly looking over her shoulder, like she's scared of something she won't say out loud. Paranoia, isolation, quiet panic. Those who have seen her recently say she's lost the glossy confidence she used to wear like perfume. Now she seems hollowed out, constantly rehearsing answers in her head, like she's preparing for questions that haven't even been asked yet. And maybe she is, because the financial trail behind her relationship with Kevin is starting to look less like a coincidence and more like evidence. Here's the thing about trying to hide financial footprints. It works until it doesn't. People who have reviewed certain public filings claim Kevin's old business accounts and Shireena's side ventures often intersected in ways they shouldn't have. Tiny transactions, odd reimbursements, unusual business expenses that don't match the official timelines. Nothing huge, nothing flashy, but enough for experts to raise eyebrows. Some legal analysts watching the case believe these smaller inconsistencies could trigger bigger reviews.
Kevin cheated on me while I was pregnant with my son. And I found out, and I could have divorced him then.
Especially if new motions from Wendy's family push the court to re-examine her financial history. According to one insider, There are gaps in the paperwork that don't make sense unless you know where to look. And people are finally looking. Rumors have already surfaced about a private audit happening behind the scenes. An audit tied not just to Wendy's accounts, but to anyone who had access to her money during the most chaotic years of her life. The idea that some of that money might have trickled toward Kevin's new life, that's no longer speculation. It's a question waiting for a file number, and Shireena, intentionally or not, may have been woven into that story deeper than she ever imagined. If the financial trail is concerning, the guardianship whispers are chilling. People close to Wendy say the sealed court motions have multiplied, documents filed in the dark, requests packed with redactions, new claims that decision-making wasn't as transparent as it should have been. 2 former workers tied to Wendy's inner circle allegedly reached out anonymously to media sources with accusations about mismanaged belongings and documents that didn't match their originals. One even hinted that items went missing before they were logged. Family members aren't staying silent anymore either. Their complaints of being iced out are becoming louder and more grounded. And while the court has repeatedly avoided giving detailed answers, what's happening behind those sealed motions sounds like a battle between people who all claim to be helping Wendy.
It's about, Kevin's not a bad man, Big Kev. He's not a bad man, but you just can't throw away 25 years.
While fighting each other for control. Kevin, of course, tried to weaponize that chaos the moment it suited him. His legal filings paint him as the whistleblower of the century, but experts say the irony is almost comedic. The man who lived off Wendy for years now wants to be the one defending her rights, one attorney said. That's like the fox filing a complaint about the chicken coop. Yet, as absurd as his lawsuit appeared, certain claims lined up a little too neatly with what family members had already feared. And that overlap is fueling a whole new set of questions. If Kevin wasn't trustworthy, if the guardianship has cracks, if family felt ignored, then who was actually protecting Wendy? And who was protecting their own interests? Everyone knows the main characters: Kevin, Shireena, Wendy, the Guardian, the bank. But insiders whisper that the cast is bigger, much bigger. A few names behind old projects, a former manager, a past publicist, producers who allegedly pitched documentary ideas while Wendy was barely able to sign her own name. Some of them quietly stepped back once the guardianship took over. Others shifted to different clients. But people close to the situation say several individuals saw Wendy not as a person, but as a brand waiting to be harvested. A brand they wanted access to. A brand that could be turned into interviews, films, books, licensing deals.
She's claiming that she was improperly placed in a guardianship. The guardians didn't properly manage her expenses and didn't properly protect her.
Even if Wendy herself wasn't fully aware of what was happening. This isn't about one villain. This is about a full ecosystem of people who benefited, directly or indirectly, from Wendy's decline. One insider put it perfectly. Everyone thinks they know who used her. They have no idea how many hands were in the pot. And if the investigations widen, those hidden names may not stay hidden. As the walls close in, people close to Kevin seem far more worried about one thing than any lawsuit. What happens if Shireena finally breaks? Several sources claim she's been spiraling emotionally, crying during random conversations, bringing up things from years ago, hinting she regrets choices she can't undo. Some say she's been asking whether anyone can really erase digital records. Others claim she's terrified her past messages could resurface. She's reportedly burned bridges with old friends, pulled away from co-workers, and avoids events where anyone might recognize her. And that isolation comes with a cost. Someone close to Kevin said,
And I read about it in the blogs and the tabloids, the address of this place that he had purchased to share with this backwoods bitch.
Her silence is only loyal as long as she feels protected. Right now, she doesn't feel protected, she feels exposed, and Kevin knows it. Behind the scenes, he's allegedly trying to keep her calm, which insiders say really means keeping her from talking. Because if she decides to open up, if she starts connecting dots publicly, the fallout wouldn't just hit Kevin, it would drag the entire story into places he doesn't want the public to see. When one plan collapses, Kevin simply makes another. Sources say he's preparing a new major move, something bigger than interviews, louder than his old lawsuits, and bold enough to force the narrative back into his hands. Some claim he's trying to shop a documentary or book deal. Others say he's considering public accusations against people he once called allies.
I made him my manager, and then when I decided to divorce him, he had to be fired. In other words, I made him divorced and unemployed all in one day.
A few whisper that he's reaching out to legal teams he once swore he'd never work with. None of these are done from a place of strength. They're done from survival. Because if the money trail tightens, if the guardianship questions grow, if Shireena talks, if family gets more access, Kevin's version of the story collapses first. And once it collapses, he won't have the luxury of controlling the narrative. While Kevin and Shireena scramble in the shadows, the only voice that truly matters is the one they ignored, Wendy Williams. Her silence isn't just absence, it's a mirror showing how many people spoke for her while benefiting from her. Family members say they're still fighting for access. Supporters say she deserves transparency. Fans say she deserves dignity.
And
Nor do I want him to be a part of my life like that, no.
why?
Because I'm divorced forever.
And the public can't shake the feeling that the woman who built an empire out of exposing secrets became the one surrounded by them. Her story isn't over, her future isn't sealed, but the world around her, the world built on betrayal, money, manipulation, and whispered deals, is finally starting to crack open. And when the truth comes out, it won't just be Kevin or Shireena facing consequences. It'll be everyone who thought Wendy Williams would stay silent forever. So here we are, a man running out of money, a woman running out of hiding places, a system running out of excuses, and a legend waiting for the justice she was denied.
Kevin, so stupid. What a stupid gorilla.
The storm around Wendy Williams hasn't ended. It's gathering, getting louder, and inching closer to the people who once thought they were untouchable. Because the empire Kevin and Shireena built wasn't made of loyalty. It was made of borrowed money, borrowed confidence, and borrowed time. And time finally ran out. Tell me what you think is really happening behind the scenes. And stay close. This saga is nowhere near finished.